All right, two mustachioed men sitting here on the south side. I'm Vinnie Duber, and this is Jake Berger on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Jake, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So we're going to get this one out of the way first. What's the best burger that you've ever had?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to, please my family here. My dad makes really good smash burger, so, I'm going to have to give him the credit. But, it's tough to pick a restaurant that has the best one. The Buffalo Wild Wings one is really, really good.
You're going with B-dubs.
Yeah, it's actually good. They're known for the wings, but it's pretty solid.
Okay. That is not what I expected. I was expecting like a nice, neighborhood joint in St. Louis, maybe something like that. But okay, B-dubs it is. There's an endorsement deal maybe on the horizon. So, Jake, you're having some success this year at the plate, and when you look up and maybe think back a little bit, what does it mean to be doing this right now after what you've gone through as a pro ball player with the injuries early in your career?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey to say the least, and I think this year I felt like I made some strides this offseason coming into this year, and just kind of controlling what I can control and slowing down the game a little bit. So. It's been awesome so far, and I just got to keep it going.
What did you learn from those injuries? I know you've been open about what was going on maybe in your head during that time. What did you think you learned about not necessarily just your life as a baseball player, but just life in general during that time?
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot about yourself when you're going through something like that, and I battled some depression and anxiety, and it's. You learn a lot about yourself and how you carry yourself. And, my parents always said, don't live with regrets. And, that's what I try and do every single day. I translate that to out here on the field. I know what it's like to have the game taken from me and not being able to play it. So I try and attack each day, with no regrets and work as hard as I can. And the results will take care of themselves.
You've been very public about talking about mental health and that kind of thing, whether it's been through social media or whether it's been an interaction in person with someone who's come up to you. What has the feedback been like on that?
Yeah, I think I tweeted out what I'd been dealing with. I think it was in March of 2020, and I just said, hey, if anybody's out there that's struggling, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And the feedback was unbelievable. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling or have a family member or friend that's struggling. And, when you start talking about it and kind of get the stigma out of it, people open up and kind of tell their story. And, there's not one person that I walk by on the street that, I'm not going to treat with respect because you never know what they're dealing with.
Baseball seems to be experiencing more of that openness in talking about this stuff. We've even seen guys, go on the IL for some of this stuff. What about baseball? Maybe it makes that easier for folks to talk about or to confront. And also, too, what have some of your conversations been like with guys around the game in this regard?
Yeah, I mean, for me, opening up, I felt like I had a good platform, to kind of get my story out there and, try and make people realize, like, we're human too, and we're going to deal with the same stuff as everybody else. And, I think that's really important to talk about. And then, around the game, it's a lot of people deal with it. There's a lot of guys in there that have dealt with injuries, and, when you have the game taken from you, you do go, into a darker place just because that's what you've done your entire life, right? And so you want to try and get something off the field, a hobby or something that you can, find passion in, because when this game's taken away from you, you kind of lose sight of yourself.
Let's change gears a little bit and talk about CHGO. You guys had a plan to be some sort of two-headed monster here at the plate. Obviously, you've both gotten some opportunities this year to get extended run, but what's your friendship like with Gavin?
I always say he's like my little brother. I'm 13 days older than him, so no, he's awesome. I still remember when we both got drafted, and I don't remember who slid into whose DMs, but from then it was kind of like an instant friendship, and I think we really find each other like brothers. I think that's kind of how we view each other, and we're always super jacked up for each other all the time, and it's just it's a really special friendship, and it's really special to be able to play with them every day.
There was one game where we came in and talked to you. You both homered or something like that, and so we were doing the interviews side by side, and we're talking to him, and you're ripping him the whole time. We're talking to you, he's ripping you the whole time. Is that kind of an example of what you're talking about? Of course, your lockers being so close to each other probably helps.
Yeah. We got to thank Rob Warren for putting us so close together in the locker room. But yeah, no, I mean that's every day. If we get outside our routine a little bit, we'll hold each other accountable and be like, hey, like, come on, man, like we got the hot tub right now, let's go. We're always kind of bouncing those ideas off each other with our routine, and whether it's an approach at the plate, and obviously they're different because it's a lefty versus a righty batter, but I think we're really good at communicating what we're doing on the field, but also razzing each other off the field.
Who looks better in the home run celebration outfit?
I got to give it to myself, I think for me, it's like I put that on. I feel like Superman or something. When Gavin puts it on, he kind of looks like. I guess I'll say I look like Batman, and he looks like Robin in that scenario.
Sure. Have you seen the Hamburglar comparisons online?
Yeah, my wife sends me them all the time. So, I got to thank her for that, and she keeps me humble too. So,
so Elvis came up with this. Mm-hmm. Have you had to explain to Elvis who the Hamburglar is?
No, he knows, and it's kind of sticking in the clubhouse, which I don't fully appreciate, but I'll wear it.
Okay. Another little off the wall thing here. I want you to know that you have by far the best walk-up song on the team. Is it because you're in Chicago, you picked a Chicago band? Are you just a big Smashing Pumpkins fan? Or is it that despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in a cage?
I'm going to say it's all three.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually really analyze what I'm going to use as a walk-up song. And for me, lyrics have always spoken to me. I've always really looked into the lyrics of every song I listen to. And, I really like the lyrics and that, and then the Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, I've always really enjoyed them, and just their sound's just so unique. And then obviously Chicago. So yeah, it's a perfect trifecta, right?
you hit the tic-tac-toe right there, I think. Going back to the spring, you were talking about some of the changes you were able to make this offseason, the mindset you approached the spring with, but you didn't make the opening day roster. Pedro has talked numerous times about how that was a very difficult conversation for him to have with you. What went through your mind back then when you found you weren't making the team initially after a pretty good spring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a disappointing conversation for me too, but I kind of took it as a positive. I get to play every single day, and just keep developing myself. It's hard not to realize, and I have to remind myself sometimes, like, I missed 3 years of baseball, and so there's still a lot of learning I have to do, and I think I always try and spin stuff like that that is disappointing at first into positives, and kind of take it in full stride. So I was fortunate to work down there with Jersh, and he's awesome, great manager down there. So it's obviously when you go through something disappointing, you try and spin it in the positive way.
Yeah, and then you get the opportunity up here pretty quickly, and it's been almost nothing but positive so far for you in terms of the results and what's been going on for you individually. How do you kind of sum up what you've been able to do so far this season?
Yeah, I just try and take it day by day and pitch by pitch, and just try and win that pitch, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the game hard and compete every single pitch and not take anything off and not take anything for granted. Like I said, with my story, it's about just showing up and doing the work and working as hard as I can and playing as hard as I can, and that's fun to me, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Particular success here at home. What do you like about hitting at Guaranteed Rate Field?
I don't know. I just love it. I love the fans. I love the energy. The Smashing Pumpkins gets to get played 4 or 5 times a night, so that's always a positive too. But I don't know. I've just always really enjoyed, and it's 5 hours from St. Louis, so get to see my family a lot when I'm up here, and it's very similar weather to what I'm accustomed to and what I played in growing up. So I think that could be a factor as well.
Especially today, it's hot.
Yeah, good old Midwest, right? It's 40 degrees one day and 90 with 100% humidity the next.
You've told us a few times that every day you go to the park, your wife tells you to provide some fireworks with a home run. You've hit a lot of them, you've done it a lot, but the days when you don't, do you get home and she's like, dude, come on, what the heck?
Yeah, like last night I go 3 for 4, right? And she's like, oh, well, there's no fireworks, so it's a failed day. Like, I don't think you realize it's a good day, And she actually saw a video on Instagram Reels of, like how quick we have to make a decision at the plate, and how hard hitting is at times, And so she's like, okay, like 3 for 4 is not bad. After watching that video, gave her some perspective. But it's still a failed day if I don't make fireworks.
But she's married to a big leaguer, and she's just now realizing, man, that what they do is kind of hard. So maybe some of the folks in the stands, need to see that reel as well.
If I do go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 with a couple strikeouts, I'd be mad at myself too.
It was obviously a tough first month for you guys here, and a much better May, but a long way to go for you guys, as you keep saying. What was that kind of like in the clubhouse? What was it like as you guys were experiencing kind of that 10-game losing streak and really just not being where you thought you'd be at this point?
Yeah, especially that 10 games, it felt like we got punched in the face, and all we could do is show up and compete the next day. And unfortunately, we didn't get the results for those 10 days, but obviously, I feel like we've responded really well in the month of May, and Pedro's been awesome, and just kind of getting us, hey, like, let's get our work in every single day, and the results will take care of itself. We have a great clubhouse, and we have a lot of talent in that clubhouse. So it's just taking it day by day, and not looking to the end of the season or looking to the All-Star break. It's hey, we're gonna focus on today, and if it doesn't go our way, hey, we got tomorrow, and we're gonna show up and compete and do everything we can to win that game.
I was going to ask you about Pedro, kind of what kind of mood, atmosphere has he cultivated in there, and maybe how does it compare differently to some of the managers you've had in the past?
Yeah, he's been awesome. His communication, what he preached when he first came on board here. It's been showing every single day with me, and I don't have a bad word to say about him. Like I said, I think I said it in Kansas City, like I'd run through a wall for him. He's the type of manager that I want to play as hard as I can every single day for him and for the team, and can compete as best I can.
All right, what are you most looking forward to now that summer has arrived? About summer in Chicago, that's we're very proud of how nice summer is here. What are you most looking forward to about summer in Chicago?
I love summertime Chicago. It's everybody says that, right? But for me, it's just like the vibe, everything. It's just like a very like low key, cool vibe. And I'm not a big lake person, so I don't think I'll see myself out on a lake during an off day or anything. But just being able to go outside and walk around, and that for me has always been important for me. Is going on a 45-minute walk and off the lake. That's typically the preferable spot for me.
Not a big lake person. So now, are you more of a river person or an ocean person, or just not a big water guy in general?
I'm not a really big water guy in general. We had a pond in our backyard, and so I'll say I'm a pond person when it freezes over and I can play hockey on it. But swimming's just kind of like to me.
All right, I'm gonna. This is a challenge right now. You ready? You might make some enemies here. What is one thing that Chicago does better than St. Louis, and one thing that St. Louis does better than Chicago?
Oh, God. It's tough. That's a tough decision. I mean, with Chicago, I think that a hot dog here and the brats and sausages, they do it right here. This might be, I'm going to make some enemies here, but
I know where this is going.
St. Louis, I actually love St. Louis style pizza better than Chicago style pizza.
So Jake, I went to Mizzou, so I'm a Missouri college boy just like yourself. St. Louis pizza is terrible. It's terrible. Come on, man.
To each their own. I mean, you said I was going to make some enemies.
You did.
And,
Me, apparently, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? The South Side does pizza probably better than anywhere else in the city. Maybe we'll have to bring something here over to you, and you do a little taste test.
See, I like Beggar's Pizza.
Sure.
I think the deep dish, I enjoy it, but I don't prefer my pizza that way. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's too sloppy for me, I guess.
Okay. All right. Like you said, to each their own. I think the next, if somebody hears this, they get mad. The next time you hit a home run, they'll probably forgive you. I would imagine.
Exactly.
All righty. Well, that'll just about do it with Jake Berger here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Jake, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.